many things. To, fund many things, hospital, this and that. How can we get money to be paid to message them? Who will pay him? I raised a red flag. But at that time, people saw it as politics. The government of the day saw me as the target. The Dillon mayor, he exposing us too much, he's a target. 2023 coming, causing trouble for us. It was not about the politics because the record can show that in 2024, last budget year, President Boakai's budget, the initial budget submitted of $41 million to keep the government running until the proper budget was submitted on the record on the budget because former Minister Weah had not submitted the budget, the domestic debt list on time, as I have always agitated and requested, demanded under the CDC government, for which I was on the record voting against those budgets because in my video like that. So, what are the issues now? Thankfully, the GSC has audited. The GSC says one category of the audit, the government has paid over $200 million to vendors that the government says provided goods and services. We are going to push for the relevant agencies of government, including the LCC and the Ministry of Justice, to investigate what are those persons or institutions that received illegal entities and what kind of services they provided, or whether they are bogus. If investigation should prove that they are bogus, we will push for their prosecution, including those who dole that money out. The second category, the GSC says, it is advising or recommending to the government not to pay claims made by people in the amount of $704 million US. Don't pay, because during our audit process, these claims could not be verified. Now we gotta be careful that because they were not verified during the audit process, does not mean they cannot be verified subsequently. Okay? But the GSC advice is, that man said he need on the list. He said, for instance, he the one constructed the road. But when we ask, either he didn't come and to prove, or the road what he said he did, he can show document.
The contract
he signed, who signed it when, whether he went through the proper thing or other thing. So government, you don't pay. The unverified claims, if it remains unverified, it saves the country of $704 million US. Domestic debt, we must pay. We must pay to legitimate agencies and persons who actually provided goods and services. In fact, we're going to further push. If your name on that list for road construction, and we give you contract to do road, what a feeder road, and we're supposed to be paying you while the road is damaging, we want to know what kind of road you actually face. Because imagine we pay you for something that already damaged. What a quality that was put into it, and all that kind of stuff. So these are some of the things in keeping with our own responsibility to push for accountability and transparency in our governance system. And that's why I've been raising the red flag. But in the country, everybody would like history rather than present time. When we're pushing this thing, it appeared like I just wanted to have talking point. I saw something, I felt something as a public official. I was not an advocate also and looking for attention. I was seated as senator, presiding over the budget, saw something.
You saw it as a conduit of corruption.
If bogus entities are there, it's corruption. And people who receive as bogus entity, if there will be any, that's corruption, that's fraud, that's grounds for persecution without favor or fear. Yes.
Senator, it appears to me that this very GAC, I mean, we must commend them for the comprehensive audit report. I've been reading through it, but they did another report in 2022 on the same domestic debt. The first one was from January 1, 1980 to December 31, 2022. And then another one they did the same January 1, 1980 to December 31, 2024. I mean, two audit reports on the domestic debt. I mean, what are the readings that you've gotten from the two reports?
The two reports, as it's been alleged, carry almost the same principle. We want to see whether we are abusing public funds.
Okay.
We want to see whether people taking advantage of loopholes. Say, for instance, when in 2022, they brought the 2022 budget with a fiscal outturn for 2021. Fiscal outturn in the budget means the actual amount,
The actual expenditure.
the actual amount government say raise and spend. So if you put $84 million in the budget projection
To pay
for
for
2021 to pay for
domestic debt.
in 2022, when if you have $84 million in fiscal outturn, it means that $84 million you projected in 2021, you actually raise it and spend it, right?
Yes.
And pay. That is when it appears in the outturn. So once it appears in the outturn, it means you finish paying. You raise the money and you finish paying. So then you bring in 2022 budget. Where is the list of 2021? You finish paying, it means you know who you pay.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
Where is the list? And if you projecting another $84 million, then it means you already know who you will pay. You understand? And sometimes, you know, Councilor Gu, most of the time you so teach us that.
You mean the late TC Gu?
Yeah, TC Gu. Normally I don't say the late TC Gu. And when I'm talking about TC Gu and Charles Bromsky, I don't put late because most some of us are alive, they are living. But some means. Okay? TC Gu gave me national life. That one.
Undebated.
Yeah. And anytime the name TC Gu is mentioned, it brings some emotions in me. Yeah, so I don't see him as late once I'm alive. Okay. So, TC Gu used to tell us, especially me, openness and transparency is the best defense for truth. It saves you explanation. It saves you speculation and rumor. Once you open and transparent. So what do I mean? If you give me a list this year to pay domestic debt, Tanisha's material entity is there for $100 last year. Your fiscal outturn says you raise the money, you spend it. It means Tanisha's material entity received $100 on last year's budget. This year, Tanisha's material entity is there for $100. The first thing somebody who will see that kind of list will think it's duplication. Will speculate it is duplication. Right? Why you pay Tanisha Matter $100 and he entered now last year and he need he entered year again, this year again for $100. If you don't explain that, somebody can already conclude, without second thought, that something wrong. Why if the original list carried Tanisha Matter entity that government owing $200, and this year, last year government paid $100, and so this year government can make claim, right? If you don't explain it, you leave room for speculation and rumor and even to cast aspersion. Or maybe Tanisha Matter entity was actually owed $100, government paid last year, and this year list inadvertently they put it there. So then, if that list is made public or transparent to especially stakeholders who are supposed to determine on the budget. When we ask this question, then maybe you say, oh, Muda wanted a mistake because it has to be duplicated. But if you had in a list for us, you made a list whether the personal property, the taboo, when I want to list out, sometimes audit show that some names can be verified. Some people, they clean, they're making it up, no supporting document. Then you create this air of corruption over your character, and then it just generally casts an expression on everybody. And in my own government, in fact, we were just in Washington, D.C., I was telling a minister of government, the budget for next year that is supposed to be submitted at the end of this month or early November. It better be accompanied by domestic terrorists, or else you hear from me.
This is the
So it was not a target on the joint Weah government. It was an intent, an effort as a public official to save the country from spending money where.
Yeah. Daniel, before you come in, Senator, the GSC done this work. It comes to the legislature.
Yeah,
Kelvin?
yeah, you live. Kelvin, are you there? You live. You just tune off. I mean, I think you should be monitoring by. You should be monitoring from a laptop so that there's not interference.
So maybe I don't need to listen to all the live. Am I okay now?
Yeah, I think you can just monitor direct instead of doing the live.
Yeah, sure. So, again, good morning, Senator Dillon.
Yes, sir.
The bottom line of all of these things here are that the monies, there's something is wrong with the way we appropriate our money, the way we expend our money, and the bottom line of all of these reports. I know it's an allegation, it is alleged, we should be investigated, but is that the right things are not being done. We have an institution like the GAC that is responsible to conduct audit, the findings are up. In previous years, and even up to present, we want to give you the accolade, we want to appreciate you for, the loud Murphy talking about, highlighting about the need for an audit and the reports that are just, sitting on the desk and with dust all on them. A lot of persons perceive that, because you were not a friend to the previous regime, so those words were just on deaf ear. Now you're close to the powers that be. We are like 2 years and you're still trumpeting the need for an audit and the outcome of the audit to be looked into. All of the things you're talking, the Nigerians are interested in what will be done with these audits. You are close to the president. You are close to the power. Now you are one of the influencers. What's your official position on all of what's happening?
My official position and something I'm going to push for. The list will have to be reviewed by the Ministry of Justice and or the LACC to determine criminal culpability where applicable for prosecution, and to also clear people's name from the speculation that everybody who received domestic debt received it on a dubious means. Criminal investigation will determine whether people were bookers on that list and they received, and will prosecute for restitution. And going forward, our own government, the domestic list came this year. So the Senate, the House of Representatives will pass a budget. This coming budget year, we will need.
How seriously does this government take it from the corridors of power? How seriously does this government take it?
As seriously as I'm talking, and as seriously as I sound, and as seriously as I'm speaking to you, this matter. You know what it means for investigation or report to say don't pay 700 million because on verified claim?
That's almost a whole budget.
It's almost a whole national budget. that people have been claiming in the name of domestic debt. If it's a little over a quarter of the budget that have been paid off in the name of domestic debt. And if over 200 million was paid off in the name of domestic debt, and criminal or forensic investigation, further investigation, can show proof that half of that money or a portion of that money was paid off on bogus means, those people must be held accountable. And they will and must be held accountable.
But how soon is the legislature or the Senate to verify through the Public Accounts Committee and all of that to come up with proposals of recommendation, probably from the GAC or so, to the President or the Minister of Justice or the Judiciary to take prompt actions?
Let me say this. And thankfully, I am a member of the PAC.
In the Senate.
Yeah, the Public Accounts Committee in the Senate, thereby making me member of the joint PAC of the legislature of both houses. My president and the Minister of Justice and LACC should not even wait on us from the legislature to do public hearing over the report.
Okay.
The law requires and mandates the GAC to report the outcome of any audit to the legislature and the presidency. The one that is reported or submitted to the presidency, anything that smells impropriety, especially criminal impropriety, don't be waiting for public hearing. The public hearing is not to determine criminal liability. The public hearing by the legislature, by the PSC, is merely to determine system issues. Where it may be the GSC itself even overlook certain things, and the auditee can come and clarify. And then the appropriate recommendation to fix the system can be made. Or where we believe, because we don't have the authority as a legislative body to directly prosecute, then we recommend to the executive for criminal prosecution. But who is best suited to cite, spot, smell, taste, feel criminal impropriety? It's the executive, especially through the Ministry of Justice and the LACC. The publication, the receipt of the audit report should get these two institutions already into motion.
This is the Prime Morning Drive on Prime FM 105.5. Kelvin is in the US. Ato and I are here. Senator Darius Dillon is our guest. So let's go to the second talking point. Work permit. You've been again one of the probably the lead campaigner for work permits. And Liberians can do jobs that foreigners are doing. The Minister of Labor, Councillor Kupokra, was someone. He presented a report. Where are we now with work permit? Is all done and dusted now?
Daniel,
Yes, sir.
in 2019, in fact, in 2018, President George Weah's administration did something that never happened to this country since 1847.
What is it?
It paved the Dole Community Road.
Okay.
That was a project to make the people of Dole Community, Clariton area, and at least to give some easement to the movement. Yeah. That was a big deal. When they paved that road, it was a big deal for citizens and George Weah government. In 2019, I went for election. I contested. The residents of Dole community walk on that road to go vote for me because they said they were jobless. Then I road they would eat. Today, I like to have this kind of conversational interview and discussion to pin my message in people's head. I don't know how many persons thought of it this way.
Okay.
You hear today, even our people, for instance, rescue mission people,
Mm-hmm.
they peddling this thing that government official too mean.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It become a concern.
You're mean. You can't give. Even if you get 3%, 5% according to your capacity, the 6% you give.
It's a problem. Being there,
You
sharing.
see, you mean. Then even the 2 or 3% you get can say, hey man, I may give me something. Maybe you buy love your
Everybody quiet.
everybody, yeah. Even the money that you get.
Yeah, this good.
Yeah, they want this club because maybe even they want somebody to go out there too. You know, we can do almost everything. Once that old man in the market saying the market high, the opposition will peg that as we ain't do anything. We got to be deliberate in providing jobs for our people. Gentlemen, I'm saying gentlemen to all of us in the studio here, and ladies and gentlemen in the radio land and on the social media, plenty of jobs in the country, in the private sector.
Wow.
But we, the government, through the executive, the minister of labor, I am safely saying as a public official senator, we prefer selling a job, depriving Liberians for work permit fees. That nonsense will not continue.
You mean selling?
We happy to take $1,000 and yet the labor minister now say 3,000 for work permit.
$3,000.
Yeah, increase the work permit fee will regenerate more money. These aliens, these foreigners can pay the work permit fee even if you put it at 10,000. You see, every time we the lawmakers, we pass laws, we passing the law to make what they call enabling environment. Every time we ratify a concession, part of the things that inform our vote yes to pass a concession, to ratify it, is because this concession is supposed to provide 1,000 jobs in the economy. This concession is supposed to provide, will provide 500 jobs, additional jobs in the economy. If the Minister of Labor and the government feels okay taking work permit fee for 800 of the 1,000 jobs that's going to be provided by a company or a concession, we have actually not provided 800 jobs for our people. We have provided only 200. We sold 800 for work permit. Work permit for capitals, for drivers. Go to small road construction area. Foreigners are there waving red and green flag to direct the traffic. Liberians can do that too. Liberians can be managers, accountants. The only profession the labor minister has not sold work permit for, that the lawyering profession. Because the Liberian law strictly says you must be a Liberian to practice law in Liberia. If that law was not there, straight jacket, Boakai we were going to sell the legal department of all these entities for work permit. Liberian lawyers do not have retainership and contract with any of these companies. And somebody thinks we're supposed to sit down. The people say we are not providing jobs for them. That is why our people are agitating for jobs in government.
The pressure comes back.
The pressure comes back to us, especially the lawmakers. The people say we're there for ourselves. And we are not righteously angry to say there are more than 20,000 jobs out there that the labor minister has issued work permit for, some on the record, some not on the record. 10,000 of those jobs go to Liberia in the labor market, in the private sector. The economy will change. If you take 3,000 for work permit to pay somebody $2,000-3,000 for that same job every month, take it at 1,000. Say this accounting job is 1,000. Give it to a Liberian. How much will be in this economy?
1,000.
1,000 every month.
Yeah.
Times 12. That's 12,000, right?
Yeah.
Take 1,000 for that same job for work permit and give it to a non-Liberian. That means only key full money here. The rest of the money is in their home.
Maybe pay his rent.
Pay rent, and sometimes they are experts, so the company, paying their rent. So they get it also. Take that same job that is paying 2,000-3,000. Give it to a Liberian. Qualified. No partition business. Once you qualify Liberian, whether you're from Liberty Party, whether you're not from Liberty Party, whether you're from UP, you are not from UP, whether you're from CDC, you are not from CDC. Once you are a Liberian qualified, you can drive a heavy-duty truck, a B Mountain or Western Cluster or Aslam Meter looking for a heavy-duty driver. Get that job to a Liberian. Let them more and see what happened to the economy. Our people say, we the lawmakers, we don't do anything for them. Let me tell you what we put in the law. The Decent Work Act will authorize the Minister of Labor to issue regulations which has the force of law on regulating non-Liberians in our labor market. Regulation 19 issued, that is in force, issued by the Minister of Labor. And admittedly, the former labor minister that was inherited by this government and we are using, so there is no excuse.
Okay.
Eh?
From Councillor Charles Gibson.
Yes. The regulation says we gain its authority from the Decent Work Act. It says, before you issue work permit, so let's make it clear, no particular job discretion is restricted for Liberians.
Okay.
But the way we did the law, it means all jobs, Liberian first preference.
Okay.
It means Liberians home and abroad have the first right of refusal.
Okay.
It's a legal, when they say you have the first right of refusal, it means if an opportunity comes, you're the first to look at it. If you want it, you qualify for it, you get preference, they will give it to you. You will be the first to say, no, I don't want anything before they start looking for somebody else. First right of refusal. The way we crafted the law. And Coco Christ, a lawyer, he knows it. The law says any job vacancy in Liberia, in the private sector, in the labor market, must first be advertised.
Okay. Put it in the newspaper.
Put it in the newspaper for 30 days. Put it on the radio for 30 days. And we went beyond, we said put it on the website, 2 Liberian websites for the same 30 days. You know why we included a website? Because it's not every Liberian qualified for a job may be resident in Liberia.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
You will be living in Sierra Leone, Ghana, Nigeria, Ivory Coast, Australia, America, but you stay in Liberian. You can see that vacancy on the website, you get interest in it, you qualify, you can apply for outside Liberia. Once you are a Liberian, then you apply, you qualify, the Minister of Labor will ensure that you get a job. In the law, we said, if the company, because the only way a Liberian who is a driver will know that there's a job vacancy at Aslam Meter when it's advertised. Right?
Yeah.
The only way a Liberian who is an accountant will know that there's a vacancy at Fuani Brother or at SETI. Accounting, vacancy, unless it is advertised. We went further to say, when the person or entity applying for work permit for jobs in our labor market, in order to get a work permit, you must demonstrate that you've advertised the job vacancy in keeping with the law.
Yeah, being transparent.
Being transparent. And the labor minister and the ministry will verify, and after verification, they will issue that entity a certificate that they went through the processes and they didn't find any Liberian or no Liberian applied or no Liberian even applied or qualified for the job. They will issue that certificate that would give reason to give the work permit. But more besides, work permit is not must not be renewed every year just for the fees.
Okay.
Why did we contemplate and say work permit should be 1 year? It get left or 1 year.
Yeah.
They expire after 1 year. You know why?
No.
Because maybe this year they were looking for driver and no Liberian qualified to drive.
Right.
Next year, then because of that, because companies coming in, they need more drivers, and Liberian did not have interest in driving job because that job was not plentiful. Now, plenty of companies coming and they need more drivers. Then maybe the Liberian who did not get the opportunity last year for that job, he going to school now, driving school. He got a driver lesson, everything. He qualified now. Next year, don't renew that driver lesson for that foreigner because the Liberian is now qualified. The work permit was not intended to be renewed every year, general. It was intended to give Liberians the opportunity to advance themselves for those areas, and or the company that brought somebody to do a particular job at the time that a non-Liberian will qualify for, and that company is under obligation to train Liberians. So after a few years, knowledge can be transferred. How do we feel sitting in our own country? We provide the avenue for jobs, but Liberians not getting a job. No, it's not possible. Yeah.
These are very profound points. The very good and profound points that I mentioned, but how can this be verified? I totally key in line that the jobs available this whole thing to reflect is another thing. So moving forward, the problem you mentioned that maybe we must have achieved on that front, but how can we do this doing so that Liberians get the chance?
Kevin, let me tell you something. It can be very vexing to me, very annoying. Now, Kevin, but the idea that work permit fee is helping to generate revenue
for the government to operate.
Look, work permit fee.
That was too helping to discourage foreigners from.
Is that true? Work permit fee was $100. They used to pay. They increased it to $250. They post still pay. Gonklo came and increased it to $400. They post still pay for the work permit. Gonklo came and increased it to $1,000. They post still pay. You give it to $10,000. They post still pay. You know how the companies pay for the work permit fee? They bringing you here, they pay upfront for you. Then they take it from your pay later on. So it's not an individual that paying the work permit fee, and the big company have the money. You understand? And some people argue that Liberian get work ethic. The Liberians are working at the embassy can go to West and stay there on time. When you go to the embassy, they can ask you for a small thing.
No.
Enter the environment.
Yes.
Liberian working at UN in Liberia, they can go to work on time. Liberian working for companies, they can go to work on time. I, as a national leader, will never buy that foolish and lazy argument that maybe because one or few Liberians get bad working ethic, it means generally. The same way people in the media and the public can say everybody in government corrupt. I think you should help me for this. It is a comfortable statement in the country. Yeah, all of them corrupt. You understand? You can cast negative expression on a whole group of people because few people,
are not
performing to the task. You understand? So, Kevin, I do not buy.
That's not my point.
What's the point?
That's not my point.
Yeah.
My point is now that we are in the context of the house,
Yes.
it's affirming that there are jobs that should be for Liberians, but not given to Liberians, if they're foreigners. My point is, how do we give back Liberians to what they deserve for a job?
But it's simple that what we're doing, Kevin. We are saying the Minister of Labor must not renew work permits for the sake of renewing it and boasting that renewing it gave us revenue in the budget.
Waste 10 million.
Go by the law. When the work permit expire, in fact, the last time at the Senate, we voted and communicated with the Minister of Labor through the President, the Executive, that the Minister of Labor should inform every entity or persons that having work permit 3 months of the expiration that your work permit is about to expire. The likelihood it will not be renewed unless proof can be shown that their job, no Liberians qualified.
Wow.
Give that 3 months notice. And all work permits are not issued on the same day, so all will not expire the same day.
Okay.
Every day, every week, every month, certain quantity of work permit expire. The Minister of Labor is ornamented and authority not to renew those work permits in the name of renewing it with girl revenue. No, work permit, we should not start the job.
But that brings the Senate oversight or the legislature oversight, particularly to ensure that it's implemented. Because if not, then the labor minister will be doing
implementation of laws, enforcement of laws are left to the function and authority of the executive. The legislature is like should be like turtle on fire on a turtle's back for the turtle to move. You understand? The legislature can
if the turtle refuse to move.
Then if the turtle is not moving at all, then mean the fire will put it on the turtle's back. It's not hot enough. The legislature does not have enforcement power. We cannot issue work permit. We can demand, we can push for the non-issuance of work permit. Look, Calvin, go to B Mountain. B Mountain has, at Western Cluster, they have 100 heavy duty drivers. 45 of them, they are Liberians. The minister made a revelation in a public hearing that we had in the Senate as a result of my demand with the communication that was endorsed by plenary for us to have this discussion of work permit. The Minister of Labor came and told us that's about a year now, a year ago, because this topic about work permit started in October last year on my initiative in the Senate. The Minister of Labor told us that when he went to Western Cluster, they had 100 heavy duty drivers and operators. 45 they are Liberians, 55 are non-Liberians.
Wow.
In my view, it was alarming. The minister justified that the entity got 55 heavy duty drivers or operators because they could not find 55 qualified Liberians. Okay, maybe it makes sense at the time, it's possible. But you paying the 55 foreign drivers $3,000 every month, and you paying the 45 Liberians each $600 every month, each of them. I'm coming. They are operating the same vehicle, the same machine. They are operating on the same work time. Once we have employed Liberian, it means they get a skill to operate that equipment, right? Sure. And the foreigner you employ, he got a same skill too. So why one skill is 3,000 and Liberian one skill pay is 600? The Minister of Labor said they will investigate 1 year now.
He has not come over a report.
Yeah. So
I lose track of this point.
yeah.
Okay. So we had a very fine conversation at national level and in different platforms about the work permit issue, the increment of work permit. Senator Dillon has said that if we increase it, for example, to 10,000, 15,000, you better backtrack it to your side that it was 100 before, and now it is at 3,000. The foreigners are capable financially to be able to pay that money. Now, my thing here is, do we now, the don't raise some very profound points, that, for example, there are jobs that Liberians can do, but it has been given to foreigners. Do we have a tracker, or can we have a tracker? Let's say, for example, let's put the amount into perspective. What jobs are there that have been done by foreigners? Carpentry, painting, electrical work, masonry,
Amazing, eh?
Yeah.
Program,
Yeah,
plumber, yes.
Senator Dillon, then my next point is, can we now update, can we do a metric on the number of foreign capitals that they have that should now be given to Liberians that were given to Liberians?
Join me, Kevin. Let's demand this of the Minister of Labor. Join me.
Maybe we'll find time.
And not only that, we should not give the Labor Minister. And let me make it clear here. When I started this thing, I saw some press releases and statements from some of my friends and people from Nima. They say I'm targeting Nibaians. They say, boy, he did the same thing to Prince Johnson. Peace be to his archer. Now he
walk out.
Look, let me be clear here. I'm not carrying too much. But let me be clear here.
Let me say this for the record, only for serious, serious outcome. But if it is true that the buyers were saying that the Senator Dillon, that was childish.
But you hear the press release from MDR and other organizations? Yeah, but sir, let me make this clear here. We led the confirmation of Cooper Craft as Minister of Labor.
You led it.
I'm a ranking member of the Labor Committee.
Okay.
I led his confirmation. During his confirmation hearing, I asked him about the authority and impact of work permit, giving it to foreign officers, providing the job for Liberians. He said when he minister, he will make sure that no work permit will be given to any non-Liberian unless no Liberian qualify. During his confirmation hearing, I said 6 months after we review this work permit issue, because plenty job in the labor market, go in these stores.
Yeah, I've worked in many stores.
Go in these stores.
I mean, you see,
if you have 20,000 stores across Liberia, and you have 20,000 non-Liberian as store boss, there are 20,000 jobs already. I'm telling you, the jobs plentiful in this country. In the labor market, we selling it.
Skill and
unskilled. Plentiful. We are selling it. So I told the labor minister, excuse me, Kelvin, I wanted to make this clear that when I confirmed the labor minister, Cooper Craft, he was not Basel man.
Okay.
When I confirmed him, he was not crew. He was from Nima. When I led his confirmation, he was from Nima, like how he from Nima, he was not Basel man from Grand Basel County. When I'm dealing with him on the performance as a minister, it can't be that because he's from Nima. I'm dealing with him because he's minister of labor and not doing the right thing. It's not because he's from Nima. No, please. We shouldn't do that to our people. And the guy, Jesus said, forgive them, they didn't know what they're doing. They put the man king to say that they don't want to kill him, joking his son and laughing. So he said, Father, forgive them, they know what they're doing. I saw some jobless Liberians bringing placard in the name of defending Cooper Craft. And you get job, I'll find you when you get job.
Let's go to the other talking point. Kevin, you want to come in quickly and then we're running out of time. It's
so
3 minutes.
Today, as we leave from here today, I'm hoping that it will get on the agenda.
Okay.
I'm asking the plenary of the Senate for us to go forward with this thing.
Okay.
Tomorrow, when the thing busts open, this country will understand that this red flag that we've raised and continue to raise meant a lot to the economy and the well-being of our people, the happiness of our people. Today, I'm going to ask the Senate, hopefully we can get an endorsement, that the GSC will order the entire work permit regime.
Okay.
Work permit, get plenty things tied to it.
Okay.
In order to get work permit, you must have resident permit. You must have resident status. When do you have resident status? You have resident status after you enter Liberia as a visitor, and you stay here 90 days. After 90 days, you apply for resident permit. So you apply for a resident permit, and when you get a resident permit, after the immigration have reviewed and you
all your records
and they give you that resident status, permit status, you can now say, I want find job. Or company can employ you by requesting for a work permit. The GSC must audit whether most of the people who get work permit, how long they even stay there.
Wow, oh, that's another eye opener. Let's go to the
And all the work permit
Background
issue,
team.
all the work permit issue, what LRA has record on that?
Kevin, you want to come in quickly? Then we'll go to the other issue quickly.
Yeah, so quickly, I just want to state here for the record that we should not. Senator Dillon made a point. He also mentioned in one of my concerns that it is the prerogative of the media to do the same. So as part of our job and responsibilities, I would like to recommend that the board should not stop at just highlighting the issues.
Correct.
Work permit, the implementing affairs, the revenue generation part of it, but I'm interested in the particular point that he raised, that should interest other Liberians, that there are lots of jobs available, but these jobs are not given to Liberians. And you highlighted the instance of the package, truck driving, and you just need the rest of it. I look for which is a big thing for the government, which is a thing for the government to provide a tracker that, say for example, V Mountain had the total number of 80 drivers, and 60 of those drivers were foreigners, and maybe 20 were Liberians. And we believe that the very jobs that they were doing, the 60 foreigners were doing, I think, that Liberians to do. Under the period, during the period under review, we were able to give 40 new jobs or create 40 new jobs to Liberians. In masonry, in carpentry, that were given to foreigners, but now given to Liberia. I look forward to that conversation in the coming months and years. How does that sound?
If in fact, that should be the final conclusion. The labor minister and the labor ministry must monthly, every month, release the labor statistics for the labor market in our country. How many jobs were added this month? How many jobs lost? Why? Because some of these people, they created these jobs purposely to bring some people.
Yeah, to bring their own people.
If you will push them to get a job to Liberia, one of two things could happen. If they were paying the expert 5,000 for that job, it will have to give it to Liberian. They might want to reduce the amount to 2,500. I would prefer for a Liberian to get $2,500 every month on a job than having nothing at all, sitting down home at all. All some of the companies could just redundant the position. It should form part of the labor report, the statistics, monthly. We will push the Minister of Labor to issue monthly report on the labor market in this country. How many jobs we added, how many jobs we lost, and why. And the areas of concentration to encourage more Liberians and to have interest in that field so that subsequently they can get jobs too.
All right.
So I agree with you, Kevin.
All right, this is the Prime Morning Drive on Prime FM 105.5. Senator Abraham Darius Dillon of Montserrado County is our guest. Arthur and I, Kelvin is in the US. Senator, quickly, let's go to this other. It's 8 minutes after 10. We should be out.
Yeah, I gotta go to
10. Quickly, where is the bill on setting, salary at 5,000 for public officials? And the war on drugs and the LDA and new team. I mean, quickly.
So sometimes I will discourage some people now with the other topic. In 2020, I submitted this bill. The certain thing requires.
So it's 5 years now.
I'm coming now. The certain thing require public support. Or else then sometimes your one can sound like you just want to talk for photo. And you just want, him. It requires public support and pressure. I submitted the bill for us at the legislature and ranking people in the government to make 5,000 or less monthly. It would do that with 100 of us at the legislature, both houses. We saved the country $4 million already. For me, I identify who can help the country. It will make 5,000 And I said 100 of us because the speaker, the deputy speaker, the pro tem are, and you know, yeah. So if 100 of us decide to make that law, that will make it 5,000, just from the legislature, that $4 million, the government will not spend for salary.
Monthly?
Annually. Then we can redirect that 4 million. When we do that, because we have the authority by law to determine how much the people in the judiciary will make, or the president and people in the executive will make, once we do that one to ourselves, we have the courage to do it to the president and people in the executive and the judiciary. Once we can start with ourselves first, a half order reduce the other money. I put that bill on the floor in 2020 and said, oh, they don't play in politics, you want to you something, blah, blah, blah. In fact, my man in city was fair with me. Because for that bill to pass, it means my 2020 election was going to be more possible.
More flavor.
Yeah. What they don't make me, it's fake. They put in people in. In 2024, under my own rescue government, I reintroduced the bill on the floor. The day I reintroduced the bill on the floor, some of my colleagues were laughing and said, they don't talk nothing about camera. Yeah, the camera be on later. Imagine if another lawmaker had introduced that bill on the floor for us to reduce our money. And I say, you're talking about camera, we're not reducing our money. Massive talk. We're going to be the news in a negative way against me. But under my own rescue government, look, a half a referee to give a record.
That's a big parable.
When a player even mistakenly keep behind a friend, the referee can get a yellow card. That same referee running on the run of play and mistakenly keep behind somebody one player, that mistake can get a record. It takes courage for us in government, especially the legislature, to reduce our salary so the public can understand that we are sensitive to what's happening in the country. Our salary is not nothing. I told my man, Chief, I will not be one of those persons who will say we need all the money because the people can beat our. No, if the people here that have money in our pocket, nobody can beat our door. One will take it from in our pocket by the law, we do that money. Chief, if the people say they don't fake you, blah blah blah. Let 100 all of us fake in the legislature and made it $5,000 and save the country $4 million every year. See what of that $4 million can redirect to other sectors, what of that money will be fake. I'm challenging citizens, UP people, my own Liberty Party, non-partisans, independent Liberians. Your challenge, all of us in the legislature to be fake like me on the salary thing, let me reduce it to 5,000 and see if the 4 million will save. If that 4 million will be fake. Then I'm fake. But the reason I went all around to explain, I want him to say, I tell you how much salary ain't get interest in the country. The country ain't get interest. Civil society can't pick it up. The media, my colleagues can come in the studio and interview. You can't say Senator Dillon get bill over there. Put it on the microphone.
No, I've asked Senator Sowe. I've asked him.
And you support it, right?
Yeah.
For how many other persons in that house? But every time you're sitting with a bill, I'll tell you what that bill is. And then, when the country, you, the media, the people, they were in that Capitol building every day to know who will be speaker, who will not be speaker. Not their business. The thing that concern the public, it don't interest them. The thing that should matter to the public, it don't interest them. Say who got new speaker, what did you not change for you? Who are in that Capitol building all day to see who coming with serving, who not coming with serving. What the thing that he concern you and what you can take interest in? So when person say, tell them, why your salary bill? I say, you just want to. Whenever you don't hear Eddie Jawlo there.
Yeah.
For civil society. Issue a statement, if they don't faking. That bill will pass it. The money will be allowed for the country. It will not be fake. The Eddie Jawlo, they will teach everything wrong in the legislature.
He said that the media is exhausted.
Of course. Chief, Even a work permit thing for Liberian to get jobs. And as a Liberian can citizen united against our, you know, why you talking against the Minister of Labor? You think it was serious? That's serious. LSCC invite or someone, public official, other present or former, for investigation. That former official and current official, you can see holding flag.
No.
Now they see holding now, citizen united to defend a less corrupt person. They vote with LCC for inviting that person. But when LCC invite the person, then they call the radio, the government don't want to prosecute, and when the government want to prosecute, now wait home. When you in leadership, just do for the people. Do your work, it will show later on. Do your work. While you doing your work, some people in the name of politics will curse you, they will disparage you. In the name of politics, even the men who sort of benefit from your advocacy because you're not in the same party, you said that put in there, you're talking. In the name of politics. So the salary issue, anytime people ask me about that salary, especially media or say what's the salary, people will check them up. And you see what? Join me at the cabinet building, impress all my colleagues to the join me.
Let's hear from you the war on drugs.
Well, the war on drugs is taking shape.
Okay. How?
We were struggling from the beginning to take a hold and put get a foothold on it. I believe it's taking shape. When there's more alarm, more arrest, and all the different hidden means by which drug was being smuggled, transported in the country, with all these means are being detected and exposed, it's taking some shape. But we ain't been here yet. Liberia has one of the best drug laws in the world, and I speak to this with certainty and authority. As a lawmaker, a ranking member of the Judiciary Committee who works on the concurrence of the amendment of the drug law, the current drug law, and credit to Representative Thomas Weah of Grand Bassa County, who initiated the amendment from the House of Representatives. And when it came to the Senate, we took our time to add more teeth. Liberia has one of, if not the best drug law in the world. It only short of one thing, death sentence. Only death sentence. Our drug law provides for prison term for 10 years, 25 years and above. Currently, we elevated drug-related issue to capital offense as in not bailable on a certain degree level. We provided for deterrent. If you brought drug in the country on an airplane, the government of Liberia, in keeping with best practices, meaning in keeping with what can happen around the world, the government of Liberia has the authority to confiscate that plane, ground it, and investigate how the drug got on the plane. If investigation proves that drug, they knowingly, the operator, they knowingly put that drug on the plane to transport it to Liberia, Liberia has right to sell that plane and the money used to empower DEA and other agencies of government fighting drug, including rehabilitation of drug users. In the law, ship. When we catch ships, we drop on it, land at our port. When we catch truck or any kind of car, whether that's pimping or keke or SUV.
Even if you found it in someone's house.
If you find it in someone's house or somebody using their home and to sell drug, mass production and other things, mass wholesale and other things, and investigation can show proof that our house that is being used, the proceed is the one that built that house. Government can confiscate the house, seize it, and sell it, and the proceed used to fight drug. In the law just saying that, say, you just use me, you'll see. Some of you are seeing videos of DA officer exposing drug, taking from in the car door. Inside the car door screw. And you see them unscrew in the car door. That one person will just go in the car and unscrew the car door and put his drugs inside. The driver know. the driver or the owner know. And the owner take responsibility of the conduct of the driver that you assign your car to. We can be showing this video there
And nothing happened.
and nothing happens. And the government sell one of those cars coming through the border or inside the country transporting drug, and they catch it and they got to unscrew the car door to take the drug from inside. It means the drug entered that car door with the knowledge of the driver and or the owner of the car. Government has gone by law to sell that car. Imagine a government sell one car like that. You did. In fact, when you give your car to the driver, they warning you again. That's what they call deterrence. We put everything in the drug law. In the drug law, we say, when we catch you importing, mass producing, wholesaling, no bill for you. When we catch you, you go to jail, you stay there throughout trial, and when you are convicted, you go into jail for about 25 years. In addition, we say in our drug law, if you are a non-Liberian, we will send you to jail for 25 years. After the 25 years, from prison conference straight to the airport, we deport you to your country. You're not staying in Liberia. It's in the law. But you see, lawmakers can enforce law, my people. And I'm not making excuse for the lawmaker. And you say I want road and lawmaking. And the executive road and enforcement. Why you can be pity off for an executive that enforcing the law that we finish making?
Maybe from the oversight.
But the oversight is where the fire is to pull the turtle back. Or if the fire not hard, then the pole stay bigger. Right now, if there's traffic in single, somehow say there's traffic where the lawmaker then do. We feel making a vehicle and traffic law. How the traffic should flow in the country. Who's supposed to direct the traffic and the police? But you lawmaker get down and say, let me help to direct the traffic here. The simple say, oh lawmaker directing traffic. He know it for me. I don't know. So the drug issue, the government is taking some deliberate steps. In my view, it is steady, it is incremental. We need to be even more robust. The DA is being empowered. We took the DA budget in 2024 from under 2 million to close to 4 million as a start. Go recruit manpower, go procure logistics, prepare yourself for the fight against drug. Unfortunately, the personnel at DEA, instead of going prepared to fight drug, they were fighting for power. Almost 6 months to 1 year, there were leadership crises at DEA. The president changed them. And in my view, that's leadership. He brought in an interim team, and then he brought in another team led by Anthony Kuo. The immediate Anthony Swart. You sure Swart?
Yeah.
So,
Anthony Swart.
Okay. Then the same power struggle in DEA visited DEA again. So the people sort of be fighting drug and fighting for power. How will fight the drug? So the president will remove them again. DEA problem is not only a financial issue, it's also leadership. There are some people who they're not happy with me since I became senator, but they were not wrong for making me senator. There are some people who feel disappointed. But they were not wrong when they made me senator. They believe that I will go do the right thing. The president has never been wrong. We have never been wrong when we confront those people at DEA. They came with a credential and we believe they had the expertise. Their conduct at DEA is disappointing. So from time to time, the president had to keep changing them. The current administration at DEA, they acting. I don't know whether they should act for long because the way they acting, maybe they get impressed you. Maybe after they landed, they will go for friend there. They go back to Liberia. And but DA now is getting logistics. DA, there's more exposure. In fact, the communities, all of us Liberians together, we are more alike about this. We want to take the initiative to start building more prison compounds, to put more people in jail.
Yeah, because that's one of the issues.
And why they in jail, especially users and traffickers and importers, why they in jail, we rehabilitate them there. That is why in our advanced or additional demonstration for concrete action in the fight against drug, Tuesday of next week.
Mm-hmm.
Tuesday of next week, I'm submitting to the Senate for consideration that we send to the House, and hopefully it can pass expeditiously for the president to approve it. I'm submitting a bill to amend the authority of Criminal Code D to give a concurrent jurisdiction over armed robbery case and drug cases. Criminal Code D has jurisdiction over only armed robbery case. The other criminal codes, like Criminal Code A, where you have the capital offenses like drug and things that are not billable, that code docket is huge and powerful. And in keeping with the practice, unless it is a murder or treason case like that, or capital offense, the case when it can go on top, it can go way to the bottom. And you understand? So if we want to demonstrate that we want fair drug, we got to do some practical things, so fast track some things. So I am submitting that bill. I'm sure my colleagues have spoken to some of them. Good reason behind it. We will pass that bill to amend the authority of Criminal Code D. So again, only have authority on only armed robbery cases. It will have concurrent jurisdiction over armed robbery and drug cases, so that Code D can be the place to speedily prosecute and try and prosecute drug cases. So we can put plenty of people behind bars. The more people behind bars, in keeping with the law, the judiciary too will have to help. The law says jail people for 10 years and above. A judge jail a drug user or drug importer for 4 years. That the legislature again will pass a law. The judiciary must help too. Even in the fight against corruption, it must be a holistic fight. All branches must see it serious. Asset recovery team went to recover assets deemed to have been gotten by illegal means, right? The first thing, you're not taking the people property from them to go sell it. You say, we're seizing it. We seize it until we investigate, because it can't be in your possession, we'll be investigating, right? The people, how they call it, gracious right?
Gracious right.
They ran to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court put stay order on asset recovery action. Prohibition is issued, or people pray for prohibition for that rate to say the court should stop something from happening because it's illegal. And if it happens, it will injure the person that asking for the prohibition. So the court will intervene before something illegal happens and they will get injured. So the court put stay order on the asset recovery function, authority over that particular matter. In the stay order, the court said return the people property to them. While we're looking at the stay order petition, the Supreme Court sat down for 9 months to decide one prohibition case. When after 9 months the Supreme Court decided the prohibition, the Supreme Court finally concluded that asset recovery has the authority to do what it's doing, but they must do it in keeping with the law and due process so they can go ahead. When asset recovery went back for the property from Greater Right, they were really selling it. They finished disposing it. Somebody said, asset recovery ain't doing nothing. But asset recovery cannot violate the order of the court. Then the same people who want rush prosecution and see people behind bars, imagine if the government through the executive branch, the justice ministry, were ignoring instruction from the court. The same people say, we respect the rule of law. When you won't respect the rule of law, then the cases are dragging by the judiciary. The judiciary has a role here to play in our collective fight against corruption, financial impropriety. The case with Samuel Tuedem, for instance. Samuel Tuedem, first thing our people must understand that when you charge people, whether you elect the first thing, I must lay this on feelings can win criminal case. Your feeling about somebody, they person correct. Ain't that your feeling? partisan sentiment and partisan instruction or mandate can win criminal case. The evidence, watertight evidence, proven beyond reasonable doubt that one can win criminal case. That is why they say when you come to court on criminal prosecution, you should produce or adduce evidence that is watertight and it must be beyond reasonable doubt. Not some reasonable doubt. All reasonable doubt. That is it. So the partisan sentiment and feeling that prosecution is not doing much. Let's under 12 and start talking. When you charge somebody criminally and that crime is bailable, the person filed a bond legally, they can be outside exercising their democratic right.
I mean, Senator, we're out of time, but there's the.
No, I want to learn something here.
Yeah, but the executive has been one thing. I mean, if you look at the case with Bakulu.
So I want to learn on something here. So we're prosecuting Samuel Twede, but the legal practice, especially in Liberia and other places, everything, anytime somebody raises legal issue, those legal issue, motions and things must be tried first before you go to the substance of the case. Even the fire case from the Capitol building, every time the prosecution won't proceed, they said, don't admit anything here because people were tortured. The other report here, the court said, no, we admit it. Then the defendant run to the Supreme Court. Then the Supreme Court say, hey, downstairs, you hold on here until we So every time there is an issue of law to be disposed of, a delay, the mean trial. They appear like prosecution weak or the delaying. But if you say, okay, the court say, stay on proceeding until you hear from them. We're not listening to that court, we're prosecuting for. In fact, they are okay on the microphone.
But there are times the executive.
According to the executive aspect, the judiciary is not helping. The delay is too much. The judiciary is the one that interprets the law. The law says speedy, impartial, and fair trial. There is a reason why the framers of the law did not say the trial must be hasty. It said speedy. There's a difference between speed and haste. Haste can be reckless. It can be something else. But speed can be deliberate, can be calculated. The judiciary is not helping with speedy trial. They're delaying too freaking much. They must be brought to book. The executive is being proactive, but it needs to step up. The executive cannot indict, especially public officials, and the public officials stay in the job.
Yeah, I mean,
that is why I agree with my colleague, Senator Boakai, that once the executive has indicted the superintendent of Boakai, he should have been suspended the same day. And I'm calling on the Minister of Justice to make the case because prosecution is under the domain and authority of the Minister of Justice unless if it is LSCC that indicted him, LSCC must make the case for his suspension. But even before LSCC and Justice Ministry make the case, the fact that the man is under government indictment, it means government already believes that this man has acted with impropriety, financial, economic impropriety. He cannot be presiding over government function as a superintendent. I'm demanding a suspension today. I concur with my colleague Boakai.
This is the Prime Morning Drive on Prime FM 105.5. We'll take just 5 calls. I mean, we got to